Hello, everyone, and good evening, YouTubers and Xers all around the world. Welcome to the Wrestling Experience. Tonight, we're going to bring you wrestling news, predictions for Saturday night's main event, and of course, this Sunday's Double or Nothing. We're going to talk about that. What an historic night for me last night for Dynamite. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to do so much more tonight. So sit back and enjoy the ride on Thursday night because you've landed on a mothership. It's Thursday. It's the wrestling experience, and I'm here for you because you're great at what you do. Sit back and enjoy the show because here we go.
Never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting.
Turn me up, Johnny.
You landed on that mothership. Welcome to Planet Experience. Welcome to the Wrestling Experience.
All right, everyone, and welcome back to the experience. Make sure that you hit the like button on the bottom of the screen, you comment, and you subscribe today. I greatly appreciate it. I want to thank you all so much for your time and energy. Last night, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on Dynamite last night, and I want to talk about it. And I want to send a very personal thank you to all of you who watched Dynamite last night. You cracked the internet 1.10K, and I want to thank you all for doing that. I want to thank you all for doing that at last night. I really greatly appreciate it. I had a lot of fun with AEW Dynamite last night. It was a fun show. It was a great show, and you all did it, and the viewership was great. So again, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for doing that. We're going to talk about Dynamite later on in this telecast. And again, like I said before, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It's so important that you do. And we can't do this show without you. So from the bottom of my heart, again, I want to thank you for doing that last night. All right. Let's talk about some wrestling news, shall we? Let's get into it. Let's hop into it. By the way, I had a guest coming on here tonight, but AK Eagles is under the weather, and we hope that AK gets better. So, AK, get better, and I will reschedule you as expeditiously as possible. All right. Okay. Internal schedule at USA Network still has SmackDown as 3 hours in early June, according to the PW Insider report. The Elite notes that the schedule may be outdated, but share them as they have been in talks. The show plans to move back to 2 hours. It would happen next month. Okay, so apparently SmackDown, there's kind of some kind of confusion with SmackDown about when it's supposed to return to 2 hour format as versus what the 3 hour format is. And according to this article here, still they still have SmackDown as a 3 hour show in early June, according to what the PW Insider Elite report saying. That the schedule could be outdated, but the show plans to move back to 2 hours in the month in and that would happen next month in June. So it looks like SmackDown is going back to 2 hour format beginning in June. And the eternal memo that was sent out was probably an outdated memo, but we will have to wait and see what happens with that because I've mentioned this many times over on my show that SmackDown does not need to be 3 hours. It's a very daunting thing to do every Friday for 3 hours. It's very daunting. Um, the show is designed, folks, the show is designed for it to be a 2 hour telecast. And that's what SmackDown is supposed to be. But we'll have to see what happens in the month of June. Daniel Berry Sports, how's it going tonight, my friend? Hit the like button. Thank you so much for popping into the chat. Um, so SmackDown is supposed to be designed for 2 hours. It's supposed to be designed for 2 hours, and I agree with the eternal memo of going back to 2 hours on Friday nights. I think it's great. I don't have an issue with this going to 2 hours. I don't. I think SmackDown needs to go back to 2 hours. Like I said, it's a very daunting thing to write for a 3 hour episode, weekly episodic episode. All right. So we'll see what happens with that. Roman Reigns is in talks to play Acumen in a Street Fighter movie. Akuma and a boss level demon character introduced in 1994 in the video game Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So apparently Roman Reigns is up for a movie role, and it looks like he's going to be in a movie role, and that's good for Roman Reigns. Roman doesn't appear on TV that much, as everybody knows, and even as champion, he never did. So this is probably a good thing for Roman, a good shot in the arm for Roman right now, because I don't think creatively WWE has anything set up for him creatively. I don't think, but I will look into that. But everybody is getting a movie role. I mean, The Rock is in the movies. You have Cena in the movies. You have other WWE superstars who are dipping their toes in the Hollywood pond, so to speak, and getting in movie roles. Um, so I don't have a problem with this. I don't. I think this is good for Roman Reigns, and I hope he does get the part. I think this is fantastic. All right, good stuff. Zoe Stark's injury changed the second half of her match with Rhea Ripley. Kyrie Singh on Raw that from a discussion between Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE did not want Kyrie Singh pinned in her first match back, but they didn't see any alternative given the situation. Yeah, so if you all didn't see or if you all didn't hear, Zoe Stark injured herself severely um, in the match with the triple threat match this past Monday night on Raw. We had to go to commercial. They had to cut it off, and we went to commercial immediately. Zoe was taken to the back. We don't know the severity of the injury. We don't know how bad it is, but it looked bad. She was in a lot of pain, and the match had to turn into a one-on-one contest with Rhea Ripley and Kyrie Singh. Now, yes, I understand that they wanted Rhea to go into the women's chamber, and that was the plan for her to get into the chamber. But here's the thing, though. They didn't want to pin Kyrie. But what else do you have to do? You wanted Rhea to get into the thing, so you wanted her to get into that Money in the Bank. So therefore, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened here, and we wish Zoe Stark our very best. we wish Zoe Stark our very best, and I hope it's not as bad as because she was in a lot of pain last Monday. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of update are we going to get on Raw this Monday, and find out exactly the severity of the injury. Um, Also, I want to send some deepest wishes to Jim Ross. Good old JR. Jim Ross is getting his cancer surgery this week. And we want to wish JR the most speediest recovery. Cancer is something that is just, it, I don't know. I have no other words to describe that um, and that affliction. But again, I want to wish JR the best of luck and good health. And I hope he gets better soon. Um, all right. All right. Sportsbook like Bet Online have John Cena, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker and Jay Uso as a heavy favorite at Saturday night's main event, with the odds giving each other 90% likelihood of winning. In the steel cage match, Damian Priest is favored, but not heavily. Okay. So Sportsbook like Bet Online has Cena, Rollins, Ron Breaker, and Jay Uso all winning at Saturday night's main event. And Priest not favored as much to win the cage match with Drew McIntyre. We're gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss that tonight for sure. A feud um a feud has been um thought about a feud between Sheamus and Rusev that would build on their shared history has been pitched in the WWE Creative Report by the PW Insider and Elite. The PW Insider Elite. So a feud between Sheamus and Rusev that would build their shared history has been pitched. Well, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this whatsoever. I I don't have a problem with this. I think Rusev and Sheamus, that would be a banger. I think that would be a great match. An already announced SmackDown Tag Team Tournament between the Bar and New Day. So I was saying, yeah, Sheamus, good luck, buddy. Rusev himself. But the good news is he thinks that he's on his win back to the win. Okay. So I don't have a problem again with this. I don't have a problem with this whatsoever. I think this is great. If that happens, then I'm gonna be in. I'll invest in it. I'll invest in this feud. You trust me, man. Believe me on that. I will invest wholeheartedly. Um. All right, folks. On NXT's May 27th show at Tampa's Yingling Center was postponed due to low ticket sales and concerned about how that would look on television, according to the PW Insider Elite. Okay, so if you all didn't see the graphics for the residency that the WWE did originally, it was supposed to be Saturday night's main event, Battleground, um, NXT, and Raw. So 5 events were supposed to take place in the Yingling Center. Now, Saturday night's main event has sold a lot. They sold a lot of tickets for that. So everybody's coming out for that. They sold a lot for Battleground, and I'm quite sure they did great for Raw. The only thing they couldn't sell over the hump was the NXT show on Tuesday, which only sold 17,000 seats. And that's not going to cut it on television. You need more than 17,000 seats sold. So, with that reason and that reason only, the WWE decided to pull the plug on the show and cancel it and give the money back to ticket holders who had tickets for that show on Tuesday night. So the only three shows that's going to happen this weekend in the Yearling Center will be Saturday night's main event, Battleground, and Raw. Those are the only shows that will take place inside the Yearling Center. Remember, there was supposed to be. Well, I said five. I misspoke. I apologize. Um, Again, the shows were supposed to be Saturday night's main event, Battleground, Raw, and NXT. So NXT was supposed to have their Fallout show in the same building as Battleground, but that's not going to happen now. So I'm going to come and assume because they pulled the plug on it, it'll go back to the NXT arena down in down in, where where they film NXT down in Florida. So I don't have an issue with this. I don't have an issue with this. WWE is smart. They're smart business people, and they know that it wouldn't look good on camera if you had all these empty seats. It wouldn't look good on camera. So take it back to the NXT arena in Florida, where you all tape NXT, and do it that way. Do it that way. Do the fallout, and that's it. And that is it. And it's just, I don't have an issue with this. This was a smart move by WWE. This was a very smart move. And every promotion should take a look at that. If you don't have enough people in the building, you got to pull the plug or move the venue because again, you don't want a massive arena with only 17,000 seats sold and half the arena is empty. Can't have that on camera. It doesn't look good. It won't look right. And no matter what you do, it's not going to look good either. You could do whatever you want, but camera magic is not going to do any good. Okay, so that's the story on that. Frightful Select announced that AEW is not expecting Darby Allen back at Double or Nothing. So if you all are looking for Darby Allen to return to AEW fold, he's not coming back to Double or Nothing. According to what the report says, he won't show up at Double or Nothing. But we want to congratulate Darby Allen on one thing. He did do something off his bucket list. He climbed Mount Everest. Darby Allen climbed Mount Everest. I'm very proud of Darby Allen. I think this is fantastic. He climbed Mount Everest. I I believe he's the first wrestler to do that. But kudos to Darby Allen for doing that. Kudos. All right, folks. All right, folks. Okay, folks. That was wrestling news. That was wrestling news, folks. All right. All right, let's go to Saturday night's main event. Let's let's do some predictions, shall we? Let's do some bold predictions for Saturday night's main event. Now, Saturday night's main event, as I said, will take place this Saturday at the Yeeling Center in Tampa Bay, Florida, and we're going to have fun with that telecast. I'm going to be on the air at 7:50 for Saturday night's main event. I can't wait to do the show. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous. We're going to have a great time on Saturday night with Saturday night's main event, which will be seen nationwide on NBC and Peacock this Saturday to kick off the Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be great. Great stuff on Saturday night. So here's the matches that you're going to see here. All right, let's talk about this. John Cena versus R-Truth in a non-title match. All right, if you all didn't remember what happened, I'm going to take you back. Take you back. Remember that we used to say that? I'm going to take you back. Take you back to Backlash. Now, R-Truth comes in the ring and stomps Randy Orton from punting John Cena in the head. Cena then, of course, with his heel nefarious means necessary, esque booking like Roman Reigns, wins the match on the cloud of controversy. We then fast forward to the media scrum. The media scrum, again, R-Truth entering the conference, the press conference, where John Cena was speaking to the media when he said something to John Cena that Cena did not like, talked about Cena couldn't wrestle, repeating what fans are saying. Cena took exception and he put R-Truth through the table. Now we got this match. R-Truth taking on John Cena in a non-title affair this Saturday on NBC and Peacock. I'm going to tell you this much, folks. There's just no other. There's no other way I can say this. I don't know why this match is happening. However, R-Truth is a fan of John Cena. He thinks John Cena is still a babyface. He still refuses to face the facts that Cena has an attitude adjustment change, no pun intended, and him and R-Truth are going to fight it out on Saturday night. So my prediction is very simple. Cena is going to walk over Mr. Truth, and he's going to move forward in the program. He's going to defeat R-Truth, and that's the truth. No pun intended. So I have Cena winning handily over R-Truth. I mean, R-Truth can wrestle. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't. So don't hate me on it. I'm not saying he can't. It's just that this match has absolutely no value to it. And again, like I said before, I understand that he's a fan of Cena's. I understand he thinks Cena is a martyr. He's a hero. He's everything else in between, and the truth looks up to him. But to be honest with you folks, I don't think all of that culminates into having a one-on-one match with Cena. I really don't. But however, this is what you want. This is what everybody's looking forward to. All right, fine. I don't have any much expectations for this match whatsoever. Cena is not going to be monkeying around with R-Truth, and he's not going to be messing around with R-Truth. R-Truth is going to have he's going to have a hard time with Cena. That's for sure. He's going to have a hard time with Cena. All right. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage. This is going to be good. The last time these two men fought in a street fight, on WrestleMania, as you all know, McIntyre won the match over Priest. The match was a war. The match was all over the place. This will keep the two inside the cage, and I believe this is going to be the final encounter for these two. So if it's the final encounter, and this is a war in the cage, this could go either way. This could swing either way in the pendulum of predictions. Oh, I don't know exactly where my heart lies here. I'm not quite sure what I should think about, and what should I do here, because McIntyre is always complaining about getting screwed and being screwed and being looked over and being marginalized and victimized and everything else in between. So um I don't know what to say here. This is a very hard prediction. Well, all right, all right. I'm gonna make a prediction. I'll make a prediction right now. I'll make a prediction, folks. All right. I'm gonna say McIntyre. I'm going to say McIntyre wins the steel cage. He wins the steel cage. He wins the steel cage over Priest. So McIntyre, I have McIntyre winning the 15-foot high steel cage. Okay. All right. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Again, this is absolutely going to be a war, a tag team war. You got all these combustible elements in the match. Rollins has been hell bent. He wants to be champion again, and this is his plan. He got Braun Breaker in his pocket to make sure that that does take place. Um, Again, another hard prediction. Rollins keeps saying he's the future of WWE, and I think he's just using Braun to get over the top. I think that's exactly what he's using Braun Breaker to knock down anyone who opposed Rollins's thought process. So, who do I have winning this tag team match? What's your prediction? What are your predictions about this Saturday night's main event? What are your predictions? What are your feelings on this, on the cage match, on the R-Truth? What is your feelings about this match? What are your thoughts? What sort of fantasy booking can you cook up as great wrestling community? I would like to know. I would. If you want to, if you just want to comment on that, I would greatly appreciate it. Because your opinion matters to me. But I want. I'm kind of conflicted. I'm kind of conflicted here as to exactly where my heart lies here. Um. All right. I have CM Punk and Sami Zayn winning. CM Punk and Sami Zayn will win this tag team match at Saturday night's main event. So I have Punk and Zayn winning the match. However, we could get something else. And for Saturday night's main event, Jay Uso will take on Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match is gonna be great. Another great match. These two men are gonna be athletically gifted in this match. Logan Paul is a great wrestler, but I just don't like the way he likes to win matches under nefarious means. Not a fan of him at all. As wrestling, I love. Now listen. If you are a Logan Paul fan and you love some Logan Paul, fine, fabulous. I'm not going to trample on your thought process. That's fine. You believe what you believe. That's fine. That's okay. That's great. But in my heart of hearts, I am not a fan of Mr. Logan Paul. I like his wrestling. I don't like the person. So, based upon what I'm going to say here, Jey Uso retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Uso will retain. And retain he must. So, I have Jey Uso retaining the World Heavyweight Championship over Logan Paul. All right. We could get some wild shenanigans in the match, but in the end, Uso will retain. Uso will retain, and he will march forward in the program. Now, his next opponent is Gunther. Gunther will be waiting for Jey Uso on a special edition of Monday Night Raw on the 9th of June in Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to see what happens with that. But Jey Uso is going to meet and greet Gunther on Raw for the title. And please, for heaven's sakes, please don't give the belt back to Gunther, please. Don't do that to Jey. Just don't. That's my only concern here. All right. All right, folks. Let's talk about AEW's Double or Nothing. We're going to do predictions now for Double or Nothing. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. We want to greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. I greatly appreciate it. I want to thank you all for watching tonight. I want to thank you all for watching last night. Don't forget, watch each and every Monday for Raw, each and every Wednesday for Dynamite, each and every Thursday for the Wrestling Experience, and then every Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. And of course, we sprinkle in, some PLEs and pay-per-views as well. All right, let's talk about Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is happening live this Sunday on pay-per-view, cable, home satellite provider, and of course, Amazon Prime. If you are an Amazon Prime Network subscriber, you can be part of Double or Nothing this Sunday on pay-per-view from the Desert Diamond Arena in downtown Glendale, Arizona. And like I said, it's greatly appreciated if you tune into the show. I'll be on the air at 7:50 for Double or Nothing. It should be a fun night of wrestling. Also on the same night, we have NXT Battleground on Peacock. So that's going on as well. So you have a choice. You can either watch Battleground or you're going to watch Double or Nothing. And like I said, I'll be on the air for Double or Nothing this Sunday from Glendale, Arizona. It should be a fun night of wrestling. It's not going to be a fun night when that Anarchy in the Arena match takes place. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to tell you something. Last night on Dynamite, we got a preview of the Anarchy Arenas. Did you see that brawl at the end of the show? Yes, Samoa Joe is hell bent on tearing up Moxley. And I'm going to tell you this much. That match is going to be fantastic. There's so many spots. I'm going to tell you something, folks. This Anarchy in the Arena match, I'm going to tell you all something. There's going to be so many spots in this match. It's going to be hard to call. So if I miss something entirely, or I tried to catch up at what was going, because last night I was doing the show, I was doing Dynamite last night, and I was calling the matches, and as I was doing what I was supposed to do, I was looking at the monitor, I was looking down, and all of these spots were happening on the floor, on the arena floor. It was such a big brawl. It was absolute, and that's exactly what you're going to get this Sunday. That's exactly what you're going to get. Chaos, as the late, great Jeffrey Turner would say, chaos. I used to say that to Jeffrey. I said, Jeffrey, we got chaos going on. And that's exactly what it was. It was KE by the door. It was KE by the door. And it was absolutely one of the most woolly, wild, and all over the place things I've ever seen in my life. Now, I want to know what you all think. I want to know the community, the great wrestling community. What in the world do you think of these matches? Are you looking forward to Double or Nothing? Do you like Double or Nothing? What are you looking forward to? Because this is the first time that we're not in Las Vegas. We're in Glendale. We're in the desert. And I'm going to tell you this much. This is going to be great. This is going to be woolly, wild, and all over the place. This Anarchy in the Arena match. So I'm going to talk about who's going to win and everything else. All right. We have FTR taking on Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. All right, so FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. So the match is going to be fine. The match is going to be fantastic. The match is going to be good. I don't have an issue with this whatsoever. I don't. I think this is going to be great. Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia are going to sign the contract tonight on Collision, which, by the way, is going to happen near too soon on TBS. So Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia are teaming up for the first time ever as a tag team to take on FTR. As you all know, FTR as going after Tony Schiavone and, of course, Nigel McGuinness. It's almost like the same storyline WWE pulled with Gunther and Pat McAfee. You know, Tony Khan's got to have a one-upsmanship. You know that, right? That's Tony Khan. That's Tony Khan. Um, so I have Nigel McGuinness and Danielson winning over FTR, but I could be wrong. FTR could come out and win the match. And of course, they got Stokely Hathaway in their corner, that little weasel. I wouldn't put it past him to interfere in the match either. But we'll see what happens this Sunday. So I have Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia winning here at Double or Nothing. All right. The stretcher match. It is Mark Briscoe taking on Ricochet. All right, this match is going to be great. Now, Ricochet and Mark Briscoe have been going at it for weeks now. And here's the thing with this stretcher match. This is a first in AEW. AEW has never done a stretcher match before, so this is a first. So here's how the stretcher match is going to work. All right. The opponent brings out the stretcher. There is a line on the aisleway. All right. You've got to beat your opponent to the point where the person cannot get up off the stretcher. Now, once you beat your opponent on the stretcher, you then must pull your opponent and wheel them down the aisle, and they must cross that line. Once the line is crossed, the match is over, and you win the stretcher match. Or are we going to get a modification of it? Which means that you pull the opponent over the line, and then you got to stuff them in the ambulance, close the door like the coffin match, and that's how you win the match. So either way, either variation could happen here. All depends on what the mind of Tony Khan is cooking up. But this is the way the stretcher match that I remember how it works. Now, like I said, it could be modified. I'm not sure. But this is the way I remembered it growing up as a kid, growing up as a wrestling fan. You incapacitate your opponent to the point where they can't get off the stretcher. You then push the opponent on the stretcher, and they have to cross the line. And once the line is crossed, that's it. The match is over. You've won the stretcher match. You can beat your opponent after that in the ambulance and close the door and then let them go sail in the sunset. You could do that. So we're going to see what's going to happen with this match. But here's the thing. I have a feeling that Ricochet has some trickery up his sleeves. And unfortunately, Mark Briscoe will give Ricochet a good time, but I don't think Mark Briscoe is going to go over Ricochet here. I hate to say this, but Ricochet's going to win the ladder match. I mean, the stretcher match. He's going to win the stretcher match. And it's unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen here. All right. The AEW Continental Championship match. Kazuchika Okada will take on Mike Bailey. The match is going to be fine. The match is going to be okay. Okada, when he is on the pay-per-view spotlight, he's vicious. He is vicious. And when I mean vicious, he means vicious. This match is going to be a banger. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt Mike Bailey can wrestle. I love the way he wrestles in the ring. I think he's great. But this is not his time to be no champion. This is not his time. So I'm going to say Okada retains. He is going to retain the AEW Continental Championship here. Yeah, Okada's going to retain. It's going to be a hard-fought retainment, but he's going to retain. Okada retains at Double or Nothing. All right. The AEW Tag Team Championship, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. I'm going to tell you this much. I'm going to say this right now. Sammy Guevara and of course Dustin Reynolds. Um, they don't need another tag team belt. They don't. They are the Ring of Honor tag team champions. They are the Ring of Honor tag team champions, and they're undefeated on Ring of Honor. Okay. I don't think at this time he talked a lot of game, but I'm going to tell you this much: Dustin Reynolds and Sammy Guevara are not winning the AEW Tag Team Champions. It's just not. The Hurt Syndicate now with MJF in their corner is going to be even more dangerous than they have been, and they will hurt people. And if you don't think MJF is going to interfere in the match, well, I got another thing coming for you. So, based upon what I'm going to say here, AEW Tag Team Championships are going to stay around the waist of the Hurt Syndicate. The Hurt Syndicate will remain and retain the AEW Tag Team Championships. Okay. All right. Tona Storm will take on Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's title. Toni Storm retains. Another retainment. Toni Storm will retain the AEW Women's title over Mina Shirakawa. Now, Mina Shirakawa did pin Toni Storm, which I didn't like. But I don't see Toni Storm and AEW giving her the title, Mina the title. I think they love the way Toni Storm has carried herself and the way she's carrying the belt as a champion. And she's a fighter. We all know that Toni Storm always turns on the umpteenth level switch when she's on when the spotlight is bright. So I have another retainment. Toni Storm retains the AEW Women's Championship. All right. Owen Hart Cup Tournament Final. Hangman Adam Page takes on Will Ospreay. Last night, let's go to last night. AEW Dynamite last night in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the go home show. Will Ospreay and Hangman delivered what I consider to be one of the best promos I have seen around in modern day wrestling history. This was absolutely a good promo. Both men were passionate, and they explained why they want that number one contendership and that trophy. Both men one wants it for their legacy, the other one wants it for pride, and this was absolutely a great promo. The two of them really and truly showed their guts and their determination, their will to win the cup tournament. Now, I'm kind of conflicted here on who I want to see win this tournament. I'm kind of conflicted. And who wants it more? And the person that wants it more is Hangman. Hangman has been out of the spotlight as far as getting a championship picture, getting a title. And so I'm going to give the title, the number one contendership, and the trophy to Hangman. And I think he deserves it. He deserves a push. And I think Ospreay taking the L is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So I'm going to give the Owen Hart Cup Tournament Finals to Hangman Adam Page, and he will defeat Will Ospreay in the desert. All right. The Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament Final. Jamie Hayter takes on Mercedes Moné. All right. And here's the thing. Mercedes Moné don't need no more belts. She's good for what it is. She got all those belts running around the CEO. Then I'm over Mercedes Moné. Now, if you all are a fan of hers, fine. I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. You shouldn't root for her. No.
The person is okay. The gimmick I cannot take anymore. The gimmick is starting to wear on me, and it's whack. She comes out each and every week. She don't defend the TBS championship enough on television. She don't defend it enough in paper. So they keep handing her the belt. They keep giving her this and giving her this on a silver platter. I think we need something different here. And I think Jamie Hayter should defeat Mercedes Moné and get to that trophy and be the number one contender to take on Tony Storm at All in Texas. I think that's what the road that they should travel on. Jamie Hayter should win this match. I got Jamie Hayter going over Mercedes in this tournament. All right. And that leaves us to this. The Anarchy in the Arena match. It is Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse and Shibata versus John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Marina Shafir, Will Yuta, and the Young Bucks. I'm going to tell you this much, folks. This was absolute. If you did not see Dynamite ending last night, this was absolutely a war. And these men and women are going to tear each other apart in this match. You're going to see, you're going to see some barbed wire. You're going to see that in the match, the barbed wire. Barbie is coming out, folks. Barbie's coming out. You're going to see tables, folks, chairs, maybe a ladder, maybe a ladder. This match is going to be woolly, wild, and all over the place. And you can use that in a hashtag. Trended worldwide, folks. Woolly, wild, and all over the place. And that's exactly what this is going to be like. This has no rules. There is no rules. There's no disqualification. There's no countouts. There's nothing. This match can only end via pinfall or a submission. And somebody saying, I quit. That's it. That is it. That's all the referee's there for. He can't do anything else but that. That's it. And the pinfall can happen anywhere. Anywhere. Because they could fight all the way up the desert, Diamond Arena. They could fight in the bathroom, in the concession stand, in the t-shirt department. They could fight all over the place. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And there's going to be so many spots in this match that I'm going to be breathless calling it, because last night I got breathless just doing the brawl that was on the floor. It's just chaos. That's the only word I can use for this match. It's chaos. And behind that, chaotic. It's just going to be, if you put some sticks of dynamite underneath a thing and then blow it up, that's this match. That's this match. That's this match. So I got Team AEW going over Team Elite in this Anarchy in the Arenas match. Yeah, I have them going over in this match. Swerve Strickland's team is going to win this match. But again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, because last night that guy named Kid came into the match and he interfered and he helped Moxley with the briefcase and everything else. So Gabe Kidd could interfere in this match. He could interfere. He could play dividends in this match. He could be a big factor in this Anarchy in the Arena match when he's not supposed to be the legal person. So we'll see what happens this Sunday. But I have Swerve Strickland's team going over Team Elite. All right, folks, that was Double or Nothing. That was your Double or Nothing predictions. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for me for the wrestling experience. That's gonna do it. That's a wrap, folks. That is a wrap. And I want to thank you all for watching tonight. Keep the wrestling community alive. If you like this video and you like what you're hearing and you like the commentary and you like my thoughts and give me your thoughts on it, then please make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And make sure that you tune in each and every Thursday on the Wrestling Experience as I give you bold predictions on AEW and WWE, wrestling news in the world, and of course my thoughts on all of it. I'll be back again tomorrow night for SmackDown's Go Home show before Saturday night's main event this Saturday in Tampa Bay, Florida. Until then, everyone, thank you all so much for watching tonight. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you all for all the likes, all the subs, everything else. Continue to watch my content and continue to hit the like, subscribe, and share and comment. I greatly appreciate it. Until then, everyone, have a great rest of your Thursday. I'm Earl Cole saying good night, everyone, and have a good night. And I'll see you tomorrow night for Friday Night SmackDown.